Bernie isn't on there, is he?
I don't think so.
Al Perkins is. Like going back to square one. But the first year in the Burritos was very good, very productive. That's when Graham was focused, coherent, and we were writing a lot of great stuff together. And that first album was really nice.
Oh, that would have been the Gilded Palace?
That was the Gilded Palace. That was a real good project, and we had some great material. And like I say, he was a very focused, hard-working guy then, and then up Deluxe. And then we lost the old boy after that. He went on to Never Never Land, and we had to part company because he's honest with you.
That would have been the third album, The Flying Burrito Brothers.
Yeah,
right?
it's okay, but we lost that initial edge that we had on the first album. The second album, that real country, if may we borrow the term alternative country,
right.
Certainly was what we boy, getting lots of mischief. And Rick came along, and it was like I was going, okay, let's just do something. From being a very sloppy live band on the first album to a very exciting, more professional band on the last of the Red Hot. Now, granted, Mike and I were the only ones left. Mike Clark. Bernie isn't on there, is he?
I don't think so.
Al Perkins is. Al was a monster. Al comes in from Texas. He'd been in a band called Shiloh with Don Henley, and they had moved out here, and Don and Al had split up. And Al, Sneaky Pete had left the Burritos, and our manager found Al, and Al was a gem. Here's a guy who could play great steel and great lead guitar. It was a wonderful guy to work with. And so Last of the Red Hot Burritos was, to me, one of the better Burrito albums, or one of the better live albums. It's the great energy on that record. And Roberts is singing great harmony. It was good, and I was starting to learn to sing better, and all in all, I was real happy with that record.
Now, were you on Close Up the Honky Tonks at all, or were you gone by then?
That's a compilation record.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I'm probably on some of it, yeah. I don't remember.
Those
are all compilations. I think Last of the Red Hots was it.
Yeah.
The last real Burrito record that was on A&M Records. And then I think Close Up the Honky Tonks with some outtakes and compilation stuff. So, yeah, I think I'm on that.
So now you move on to Manassas.
Right. That was, once again, as you said, it was time to move on. I ran into Stephen on a Burrito tour, and he was out on a solo tour. He had just left Crosby, Stills and Nash, one of the many times that they would break up. And he had left, and he had had quite a good, successful run with Love the One You're With, a hot big single, and Change Partners was a big single. And he's out on the road with this big band, Orange and everything. And I ran into Steve in Cleveland or someplace, went to the show, and we talked, and then I knew him from the Buffalo Springfield days. He's a good friend, and so some months later, I'm playing in Boulder at this club called Talagi's, and Stephen happened to live in Colorado then, and he came in to see us. And great story. I'm playing this old Gibson blonde mandolin. It was all color was all off, so it was a blonde colored mandolin, and not a very good instrument, but we meet, see Steve, and hang out with him. And about 2 months later, I get a call to come down to Florida to help him do some sessions. He's doing this album. And I come down. He wanted Perkins and me and Byron Berline, who had been on the road with us too, on the Red Hot Burritos. So the three of them, and Robert's, just the three of us. So the three of us go down there and play these country cuts that are on the Manassas album. And about the second day we're down there, Stephen walks in and says, I got a present for you, and hands me this unbelievable mandolin. I still have it, this Lloyd Lohr, very old Gibson that he had gone out and picked up for me. He said, I hated the sound of that blonde mandolin. But it's one of the nicest presents. But he had an ulterior motive. He wanted to get something going. So he had offered this thing. He said, I want you and Al to join this band with me. We started a band. Well, it sounded pretty good to me. And those guys were such good players. I thought, wow, here's another step for me. And I didn't think of it at the time, but looking back, of course, it was an obvious, logical step to take. These guys were like on another level as players, and I had to really stay on my toes to keep up with them. And, I hadn't played bass for years, and I back on electric rhythm guitar again, which, you know, sort of playing rhythm to Steve, and I doubt if they even had me turned on half the time. It was a good learning experience, especially in the songwriting department. It sort of honed my songwriting skills working with him. He taught me a lot of little tricks on a subtle level. But I looked at that experience as with all great fondness. I enjoyed working with him. He's a good musician, good singer, good writer. And Manassas was an incredible live band on stage. That band could play anything from a salsa piece to a straight hardcore country song to a bluegrass song to anything.
That's
hard
right.
rock. It was a very good band. The first album was real interesting, and live, like I said, we went all over the world in that band. Australia, all over Europe, and all over the States. And really did good business. And once again, the second album comes along, and it's starting to splinter. You know, it's not there. Focus is gone, and everybody's getting bored and antsy. And barely got through that second album, which was called Down the Road. And not that great. Except I got to play bass on a couple cuts. I was happy about that. So.
It didn't sound like the first one.
It didn't sound like the first one, but then that came along, and then bang, something else pops into my screen, and that was
The reunion album.
no, actually before the reunion album was the Southern. No, it was the reunion album. You got that right, and that was a disaster. It was a great idea on paper. Everybody's afraid to ruffle the other fellow's feathers, no pun intended, but it just didn't hold up. Now, I've heard they've reissued that.
Yeah, they have. It's
I have a copy of it. I haven't heard that thing in 30 years.
you can get somebody in Europe has put that. It's an import, and it is out on CD.
I'll have to pick one of those guys up, but
I got a copy of it through Jim,
through
the computer on Jim.
Oh, okay, I got you. I've got a friend that could get that for me, but I'll be curious. I do remember one standout cut was "See the Sky." I thought Gene could sing that.
Oh, that is. I'll tell you something. I mean, now I've gone back several times and listened to that album, and I said the same thing to Roger. I said, listen, when you sit down and listen to that, but listen to where everybody was at that moment before they came back, I can understand. I mean, there was no way you guys, you had to have a country show, because there was no way you guys could go back to 1965 and create the same sound, because you moved on.
That's right.
In my opinion, yes, maybe it was a commercial disaster, but to me, the harmonies, the music was just...
Well, what we needed on that reunion record was a producer. David brought in this engineer who was not at all comfortable to work with, and I'm surely the other guys, if they were still around, would agree. And David took over the production choice, which was the wrong thing. We needed an outside guy. We needed a captain to steer the boat. The boat was hitting the rocks. But there's some moments, and I See the Sky is one of them. And then there's some real duds on there, too. Laughing, or whatever that thing is.
Yeah, Laughing.
I shouldn't, I mean, I got some, too. And I was, secretly saving some of my Betterment songs for a solo record. So I'm guilty of that, and I wasn't taking it all too seriously. But it is what it is. It's already a done deal, so I'm going to pick one of those CDs up and listen to it one of these days.
All right, I'm changing the tape real quick. Basically, getting back to the reunion album, it's there were some clinkers,
yeah.
But like I said, all in all, if you go back and listen to it, the one that's been issued, it has its moments.
I got to listen to it. I can't even comment. I don't remember.
You'd have to listen to it again.
I don't even remember what Roger did on there. So
rock and roll. I'm trying to remember what he did.
I don't know. I have to listen to it.
You'd have to go back to it.
Yeah.
So now we move on.
Then we get a call. I get a call from the people at Geffen Records. I don't know who David Geffen, I think it was at the time.
Right.
About this idea to put Souther and Puree and me together.
Right.
And I think, once again, there was a motive there. I think he was mad at Crosby, Stills and Nash, and they had broken up and whatever the thing. And once again, I've used this a million times. It was a wonderful idea on paper, and in reality, it was a nightmare. Not that I didn't like those guys. I love both of them. They're great guys. To this day, we're friends. But Souther and I always, when I see him,